A lot of YouTubers talk about
productivity,
but what exactly is productivity, and is there a dark side to it? Spoiler alert, yes, there is. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm an ambitious person. I really like feeling productive. Maybe a bit too much even. But the other day I thought to myself, we spend so much time chasing productivity, video after video, blog post after blog post, that we forget to stop and think, why am I doing this? What does being productive even mean? So, what is productivity? I decided to find out. It apparently is a number, since you can multiply it by 10, but it also is a feeling, because you can feel productive. Maybe it's something you have or don't have as a productive member of society, or is it a myth? To talk about productivity, we should first define it. And when trying to define such a big term, I realized that there are actually two different things we mean when we talk about productivity. These are the two sides of productivity. On one hand, you have the notion that productivity describes how long you take to achieve a set goal. Since you use productivity here as a method of efficiently getting to your goal, we'll call this type of productivity as a means. The other productivity is more elusive. It's a way of life, an image, something to be proud of and to tell others. This kind of productivity is part of who you are, so let's call it productivity as an end. Which type of productivity do you have in mind when thinking about productivity? At first, both seem very similar. The difference becomes clear when you finish your tasks. Do you think that this is great and you can now have some free time, or do you use the time to set more goals, to do even more? Like the lo-fi beats to relax/study to girl, never stopping working. Productivity as an end knows no breaks, in both senses. Let's have a closer look at both kinds of productivity to understand them better. When you spend a lot of time in the productivity corner of YouTube, as I do, you start to get a sense of what productivity as an end means. Whether they want it or not, Thomas Frank, Matt Davella and others are role models to millions. They shape the vision of an ideal self that many people have. This ideal never procrastinates, wakes up at 3 AM to do 100,000 push-ups while reading. Okay, maybe a bit less extreme, but you get my point. We all have a version of ourselves that we want to become, and these versions are shaped by the media we consume and the people we spend time with. The perception of productivity we get from watching motivational videos all day is a capitalist one. And before you press the dislike button and report me to your local anti-communism brigade, hear me out. The idea of productivity originates in the economy. If you type productivity into Google, you're making a mistake. I told you 2 videos ago to not use Google. If you type productivity into DuckDuckGo, you find a lot of results from the world of business. This is because productivity as an end is heavily influenced by the capitalist logic of efficiency and marketing yourself. It also is a huge part of one's identity. Maybe in your circle of friends you're known as the productive one. I sure am. You can start to identify yourself with the productivity. This is dangerous because you can take pride in the stress you're under. Stress can show people that you are working hard and not cutting any slack. Stress can become some sort of status symbol. Again, this part is a bit autobiographical. As I said earlier, productivity as an end knows no end. It's not about efficiently achieving your life's goals, it's about efficiency being your life's goal. So productivity as an end is part of one's identity. It's shaped by society, role models and capitalist thinking, and leads to ever more stress because it knows no limit. Productivity as a means is different in almost every way. The core idea is not to reshape your goals, but to achieve your goals efficiently. This, of course, should coincide with setting actually achievable and healthy goals. Because if you set your goals unreasonably high, both kinds of productivity will have the same effect, stressing you beyond what's good and possibly even leading to burnout. But if you set realistic goals and don't keep setting them higher as soon as you notice a minute of free time, productivity can look very differently. While productivity as an end is heavily tied to our culture, this kind of productivity is more independent, maybe even universally a good thing. Even if you want to destroy capitalism, you would want to be productive in doing so. You're not gonna say, "Destroy capitalism? Oh yeah, I'll do that tomorrow." Both kinds of productivity also have a fundamentally different understanding of time. In one case, the free time you get has to be invested into more goals immediately. There is always something to do. Using productivity merely as a means, you can enjoy your free time after you've done what you want to do. Now, that's fine and all, but how do you use productivity merely as a means? Here are 3 tips. Keep in mind that productivity is just a tool, and your goals should be ends in themselves. Set realistic goals that can be achieved and leave room for relaxation. This is very important. Don't brag about not getting sleep. Don't brag about not seeing family or friends because you're being so productive. Try instead bragging about the amount of sleep you got, about how much you take care of yourself. Because if you practice productivity as a means, this is what you can be proud of. So, productivity can have you work less and have more time for the things that truly matter in life.
Like drinking chocolate milk in the forest.
As I said, setting the right goals is very important in using productivity as a means. What if my goal is to become more successful? Great question, character I made up to ask a great question. Subscribe to see next Friday's video of how productivity and success are linked, and what success even is. Or watch it now, if you are living in the future. Also, a huge thanks to our sponsor. Without them, this video and my entire YouTube channel would not have been possible. Social isolation.
Social isolation. Sparking creativity out of necessity.
Almost forgot. Thanks for watching. If you liked that video, go ahead and like that video, or subscribe, or don't do these things. I'm not your dad. And have a nice day, week, and life. And now I will eat these pistachios until the video ends. That's some good pistachios. Bye. This ideal never procrastinates. Wakes up at 3 p.m. No, that's a bit late.